and welcome everybody to the Season 9 Face It EMEA Master Division. I am Zima. I'm joined today by a Rugby Crab. How are you doing?
Yeah, doing good, thanks. I'm very excited for today's game.
Yeah, speaking of, it's going to be last word facing off against our very own VanirQuick. And I checked Face It, and it's looking really good for the home team today for VanirQuick. The other team is currently 5-5 in 12th place. They've basically haven't won against anyone in the top half of the leaderboard yet. So it's going to be a very massive upset if they do. But it's seeming like it's going to be pretty comfortable for EQ in this one.
Yeah, we're having a look at our rosters here. Of course, VanirQuick, if you've been here before, you would have seen this roster. It's the kind of this Swedish Overwatch World Cup core. Elias Zoro, SrPeakCheck, Tomex and Kale. And then on last word, a bit of a mix, mainly Saudi. We've got Miraculous, Eclipse, Poroplay, Zera and Gara. Yeah, this is looking to be a very exciting match. I know that, you know, the win record of last word may not be an appropriate reflection of how they've played. They've had a lot of tough games, but they've come out on top on quite a lot of those. And I'm hoping that means that we'll have quite an exciting game to watch today.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am definitely not biased being a VQ caster, but either way, the first map is going to be Ilios, picked by Last Word, and I mean, a very divey map, I would say. So wouldn't be surprised if we see something like a Diva here or a Hazard composition.
Yeah, of course, the meta's still changing as we're coming on, what I would say halfway through this season right now. There was correct me if I'm wrong, I feel like there was a patch notes quite recently that changed a few things. I remember everyone saying Doomfist got gutted. So I doubt we were going to see much of him. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these teams have adapted and who they're going to choose, what kind of bands they're going to be looking at going into this map of Ilios.
Yeah.
Which we're about to see shortly. I think it's Freya first.
Freya, okay. Freya has been buffed in that set patch. She has a little bit more fire rate and I believe faster recovery time after shooting the charge shot. So I've definitely felt her strength in my ranked and quick play games, but apparently so do Last Word feel her strength in this professional match as well, or professional level. And so they decided to ban it. VanirQuick cannot ban a DPS. They're gonna have to go to a support or a tank. We'll see what they choose.
Yeah, I wonder what on Ilios. I'm not quite sure. The Freya's not kind of giving any information. You know, of course, Zoro, a very scary Freya. If you're on the other team, you will be looking at your opposition again. This is an ex-OWCS player. He's scary. It makes sense that you're leaning towards a ban in like the DPS. But I'm not sure. This isn't giving VanirQuick much in terms of information. I think you're probably going to lean towards a support ban more, I think, going into this, but I'm not sure what support you would want to ban or what you'd be trying to achieve from that. Because, yeah, this is very little information. The most you've got to work with is that we're on Ilios and not sure what that second ban is. I think we're just waiting slightly to get a bit more information on that. You can have a bit of a look at Ilios, a bit of a scenic showing of all our different submaps.
It's a very beautiful map. I mean, definitely in my top 5 in terms of aesthetics. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, some of the new maps are giving it a bit of a run for its money. And I think that the time of day as well. If you get that sunset map, it looks great. If you get bright in the morning, you're like, oh, it's a bit bright for me. But yeah, I think depends where we go, really. It depends what our first point is. I feel like that first on that well, I feel like the Freya can have not no value, but a lot less value than you would see when she's on ruins or when she's on lighthouse, with all those high grounds and kind of the open space that you kind of miss on well. So if we go to well first, you're going to see that ban kind of being almost meaningless.
Yep.
So
I mean,
yeah,
it's still a good ban, I feel like. I mean, Freya on this map, there's a lot of high ground, especially on the lighthouse, but as well as the other two, there is a lot of possibility for her to just climb that with her E ability and just camp up there. There's a lot of possibility to just rotate around the map with her as well. So it's not the worst map in the game for this hero, and I would actually argue that it's one of the best maps for Freya. So it makes sense to ban her out this early on, especially since you kind of want to save the like really heavy hitters, the tank bans, the support bans for later in the series when you're not sure, or where you want to be sure, sorry, that you have to win a map. And right now we're just getting started. It's going to be a little bit more like a little bit less heavy hitting bans so far.
yeah, I think a big part as well is the kind of information you've got to work with. If Last Word do not have the kind of extensive information you may have on a team of what they like to play, what they like to run, especially a team like VanirQuick, who are very flexible in what they want to play. There's lots of options of which direction things could go to, and you kind of just want a generalized ban that kind of covers all bases. But yeah, we are heading into the map. No second ban right now, or at least one we don't know. So if we see anyone glaringly obvious not being played,
Ooh,
that
yeah.
looks like
I don't even see, I'm not gonna lie, I don't even see it on the in the match room, so I'm not sure what was banned. We saw on our graphic the Freya, but I don't even see it in the match room, so maybe it didn't happen. I'm not really sure what happened in terms of the
maybe
bans.
they chose, you know what, we're not going to ban someone, we don't know, but we're seeing kind of your standard picks all being played. We're still seeing Lucio, we're still seeing Kiriko, we're still seeing Sigma, all of these big picks. So yeah, we'll see how this map goes with we're seeing Sojourn here instead of what would be Freya.
Yeah, some damage traded out here in the first few seconds. The rock almost connects with Eclipse. That would have been a huge first pick there for VanirQuick. But there's some interesting differences here between the two teams as they start engaging here. But Central Fan gets a pick onto Eclipse out of nowhere, while Last Word was pushing them. Zoro finds a kill onto Miraculous as well, and the points flips towards VanirQuick here as the dust settles.
I'm gonna guess that we have seen a Mizuki ban here. That's the feeling I'm getting. I'm looking at this Sigma comp, this kind of slow bunkering comp, and you would have really loved the Mizuki here, going into that Ramatra, going into that Sim walking on you, the Cassidy in that close range. I don't see why you would pick a Wu Yang over that. So that's my guess. We'll see if I'm right, if someone swaps to him or not. But yeah, we're seeing quite a different approach in comps. We're seeing quite a faster, a swap to D.Va, an even faster kind of rush comp versus a very slow, very controlled, very paced Sigma comp here.
Yeah, the swap to D.Va kind of suggests that the Mizuki was banned, since you're not really fearful of that coming out. Maybe Central Pan does take a little bit of damage, but is able to disengage that as the rest of Last Word is gonna go through left side. Oh, Eclipse takes so much damage and does go down eventually. Zoro pops the overclock, almost finds the Lucio on the other side, but he barely escapes in a 1v1 with the Wu Yang. But it seems to be like the fight is over. They're even gonna get a little stagger onto Zero. towards the end, and it seems like VanirQuick are in control of this match so far.
Yeah, it's a easy fight win for VanirQuick. They hit that ult first. They used that ult first. They used that overclock. It bought them so much space. It didn't necessarily find picks in itself, but it bought the team so much space. We're about to see both K rushes online. I wonder whose K rush fight will go better.
What a pick by Elias. Finds a kill onto Miraculous, which was set up by the Sigma with the rock. Now comes the other ults. Okay, the Gravitated Flux does miss, but he's gonna get a lot of damage here onto the Kiriko, who goes so low, stays up in the meantime, and it's actually a Central Pan who goes down to the backline of Last War. Can they touch? Yes, the Lucio is there. They look to be in a strong position to finally flip the point, but Elias finds Zero. It's a big, and he finds the second one. Eclipse falls as well on that Sojourn. It's absolutely insane what Elias is able to pull off. Can he find a third? Yes, he can. Okay, it was Zoro to finish off the rest of the squad, but what a great showing in the first round by VanirQuick here, especially with that clutch in the end.
Yeah, it's a very confusing fight. Good luck explaining that to anyone who doesn't know what Overwatch is about. But yeah, a kind of huge investments across the board. I think every ult just thrown out with kind of no real direction. The beat was late. The Flux hit Zero. The Wu Yang ult was on the Sigma fluxing, who then hit Zero.
It actually didn't hit Zero. Zero dodged it.
Oh. But yeah, basically, it was very confusing though. I don't quite get.
I'm sorry.
They were just throwing everything out, and it kind of hit a wall. So that point, that entire map was won by Elias on the Tracer, and but you can't rely on your Tracer player to tell that moment of wonder. It was Cat.
Oh, it was a Cat ban. So Mizuki is available. So, I mean, Central Pan can get absolutely countered by this Mizuki, who does come out from last word here. But, you know, so far, it's not looking like he's feeling a lot of pressure as Elias finds the first pick as well, but Kale does fall down on the other side. Zoro, can he find a pick onto the Symmetra? Yes, he can. Zero is in trouble as well, falls down with the help of the D.Va, and the last one standing is SrPeakCheck, who does get a final blow onto Zoro, but does not matter as the point flips to VanirQuick in the opening statement as in the round.
Yeah, I've been made to eat my words there by the Mizuki coming out, so I got that wrong, and then dying first, so I got that doubly wrong. Of course, we've seen a swap onto D.Va, which makes Mizuki's life a lot more difficult than slow Sigma poke. But this angle from the Kiriko is going to just win that fight to rush. It should...
Ooh.
Oh, Elias dead
Gara
first.
finds a pick onto Elias, but Central Pan gets two out of nowhere, and he is trying to get Elias as well, who does fall down eventually. And I mean, for the fight is over as quickly as it started, it seems like, and the last one standing was SrPeakCheck, who does fall down in the end. And what just happened?
I don't know what happened. I mean, the only thing I saw was Apan filling out the kill feed and then stopping clearly to make a clip of it, because that's definitely going in the montage. So if you want to see what happened, I guess we'll have to wait for the next YouTube video to see that one. But yeah, we're now coming into a K-Rush fight. It's this could go either way.
Yeah, and it does come out from Tomix first. Elias finds a kill onto Eclipse. Again, finding these kills out of thin air, finds another one as well. The TP is spotted by him, and the Symmetra goes down in due time. And okay, SrPeakCheck does get a kill onto Kale, but he is the fastest person to get back, so that's not gonna end up mattering at all.
Yeah, the K-Rush just wasn't used by Last Word. They were all so low, it almost wasn't worth investing. But then SrPeakCheck invests the Annihilation, and it just means that you're down 1-0 and you're slightly staggered. But this is entering last fight territory. A lot of ults to the name of Last Word. They can make a big fight here, especially with this Sim TP.
Yeah, beat is probably needed from KO to counter at least one ult, but I mean, you're close to it, but I mean, I don't know. Last Word isn't using any ultimates. Here comes the K-Rush, and it is gonna be enough for a flip, but here comes the beat to deny some of that utility of the K-Rush. Gara does find a kill onto Zoro. It's a big pick Central Pen and KO go down as well, and it's the first time Last Word has won a fight in this game, and I mean, better late than never, I should say, but it is quite late.
Yeah, they've played that fight really well. They've really taken their time. They've realized that they're in no rush. The ults are in their hand, and it's meant that VanirQuick can't just kite them. However, that
Elias?
is less than ideal.
Okay, he's finding these picks. Like, what? How do you find that? Zoro finds a kill onto Eclipse, and it seems like it's all as good as over on Ilios here, as they're flipping the map, they're flipping the point, and at this point, it's just a tank left alive. He does have the ultimate, but it's not gonna be enough. He falls down, and the rest of the team are just gonna be staggering themselves, trying to touch this point. It is 1-all to VanirQuick.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see. You've just seen Last Word put a really methodical breakdown of the point. They've really worked their way to the objective. They've used like the Sim TP so well and their ult so well to secure this point in a really convincing fight. Just to have both supports picked pre-fight before they can even do anything. They've got the Sim wall, they've got the Annihilation, they've got so much at their disposal, and
Yeah.
they've just let the Mizuki get picked early, and then Kiri's TP to save it and got picked early as well. Suzu eaten by the Diva, and like the whole thing collapses. And you're putting all that work and done so well to finally win that fight. That's putting the momentum in your direction, and you've just thrown it away.
I mean, the Mizuki was a little bit over aggressive on an island of his own. I mean, you can make those plays if you know that you have a little bit of support, or at least that, you know, you can get back to your team quickly enough before you get picked off. But that was just not the case in that moment. And that what ultimately sealed the deal for VanirQuick, was that death of Mizuki. And next map is going to be Circuit Royale, zooming out a little bit, going back to the series. Yeah, I mean, what do you think of this? What do you make of it?
Well, I'm wondering if this is saying, you know, you did a good job banning that Freya, because now I want to play a map for Freya. Like, I've worded that horribly, but you get what I mean. Freya's really strong on Circuit Royale. She has all that open sight line, so, you know, it's well known for being a Widowmaker map. But in a style kind of situation for Widowmaker right now, you're seeing more of a... It would make sense for a Sojourn or a Freya, especially if you're really comfortable in that Freya. It's just as effective as a Sojourn would be. We are seeing some bans already coming through. I think we've got some information.
Am I in the wrong mushroom?
Nope. I think I've just got information early. I think we're seeing a May ban. Yep, we are. Another ban targeting the DPS, and I wonder what VanirQuick are going to look at. Maybe a Ramatra ban. That was quite oppressive. Well, not oppressive, but quite effective, quite a comfort pick. Maybe the Cassidy. It gives your Tracer more room to... Well, you can't. Never mind. DPS is gone. Maybe that Lucio. Maybe the...
yeah, Sigma. Actually, no, you're VanirQuick. This is the VanirQuick's ban, so I didn't really want to ban it.
Maybe a Kiriko.
Yeah.
Maybe a Mizuki, those kind of things. Maybe even a Reinhardt. Reinhardt's known to counter this Sig comp. So maybe they're preemptively doing that. We've seen that before. So yeah. Or maybe it's going to be like last time and we're not going to know. So it could go either way, really.
Mayban suggests that you don't want to play the Broly compositions as last word, which doesn't really make sense to me, as that was the thing that they were playing. They were playing the Ramatra in the previous one. They're playing like kind of Rashi style of compositions. So speaking of Ramatra, the Ramatra is actually bad, like you said. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't think that they were going to be playing it either way. So banning it out, I mean, it is really good on this map. Don't get me wrong, but banning May is kind of weird if you don't want to play Ramatra.
Yeah, the banning May gives off a very different impression to I want to play Ramattra, please let me play Ramattra, because of course they work so well together and so much is kind of hinging on them two being able to work. What we are seeing here is two Freya, so I think Freya clearly looks like a winner coming out of these most recent patch notes, as
Yeah.
a player on both teams have picked her up, even at the choice of a second hit scan. You see from last word, you've got that Sojourn, and
Well,
it's looking like
I
a Freya
mean,
and a Sojourn as a pair. So
Freya is played as a hit scan. It's played by the hit scan player usually, as Clips falls dangerously low there, but does manage to stay alive. Switches to the Sojourn. Okay, no, they're making a lot of switches here. As we see a Cat Bastion from last word. Okay, that's very interesting development in this match. As
they really want to win.
Absolutely. I mean, it has been nerfed in the beginning of the season. Both the heroes receiving a slap on the wrist, but as we can see, it is still viable to play this composition, especially on a map that is as open as Circuit Royale. We're gonna see a little bit of an engagement here. Big connection with the sticky, and it's gonna get a kill onto Elias, who is just naked in the air. No cover, no nothing can save this Pharah. And I mean, the card is still rolling through. This is gonna be a one fight territory, and VanirQuick are down one player. Elias is gonna switch to the Bastion. It's gonna be a ground Bastion for now, at least, as Eclipse does fall down. And I mean, VanirQuick do have a little bit of a comfortable position here, trying to defend this first point. They stop the push just short of the checkpoint.
Yeah, that Pharah's gonna really struggle to get anything out when the other flyer on the other team is a giant tank shooting 300 bullets per second at you. You're gonna find no value whatsoever in that, because you will just lose that fight every time. And that's where we're seeing a kind of ground Bastion, almost artillery fire, sending his way back out to keep this competitive. What we have noticed, however, is the Freyas are farming their ults so fast. They're just putting so much damage. It's really keeping that Cat Bastion in check, because all of those right clicks just mean you can take no space whatsoever. Oh, as we've seen just there.
Yeah, Eclipse goes down early, and Elias is on a roll, gets a second pick as well. Can he get a third? Almost, but Zoro steals that one from him, but it doesn't matter, as the rest of the squad of Last Word is absolutely dead in the dust.
Now, if anything, if our first map is anything to go by, we're about to see a lot of big buttons pressed and a lot of special things happen. The ult's kind of heading in the favor of VanirQuick, just because that Wu Yang ult can do just that bit extra to the Cat ult, I feel, in this comp. But I feel like this could go either way. Whoever's just that bit more proactive, we will see the success with.
Yeah, a lot of ults coming out from Last Word here. 3 ults to be exact, already consumed. And okay, Eclipse does find a kill onto Elias, but you don't have any more ults. VanirQuick have all of them. Zoro finds a kill onto Gala, but falls down to Miraculous, and it looks like the chokehold of VanirQuick is being broken down, as Last Word will probably secure this checkpoint.
It looks like that could have gone either way. Last Word used a lot quite early, and it seemed like they had nothing to say for it. But just that consistent pressure of being able to literally use 5 ults just meant that the point was going to end up being theirs quite comfortably.
Yeah, I mean, an Eclipse finding the first pick was kind of the saving grace of Last Word. They didn't find anything with the 3 ultimates that they've used. But, I mean, the individual brilliance from this Bastion is really what put them up front in that interactions. They did use everything, but, I mean, looking at it, they already have both DPS ultimates up over here.
Yeah, Freya's known to be fast to charge that ult, but that Bastion ult is slow. Eclipse has just output so much damage and done so much that he's able to have it already. Yeah,
Last Word expanding that Freya ultimate and the Bastion ultimate as well. 2 very cheap ultimates. They do get nothing, but I mean, at least you're not expanding a Kiriko rush or something like that. But Miraculous does find a kill onto Central Pen, and Boreal Place finds another pick as well. Everybody on the side of VanirQuick fall as quickly as dominoes, and yeah, the checkpoint is secured. They're kind of on a roll here. Only one fight required for that capture.
They've really pushed that well. They've had people on the cart the whole time. They've managed to force that from one fight for what you sometimes see takes even 3 fights. And they've just played the time until that K rushes up and been able to walk over them. The question is, will they be able to break through this final point, by far being the hardest point of Circuit Royale?
VanirQuick expanding that gravitic flux, and it does find a kill onto Miraculous. Wasn't even aware that he was in that ultimate, but Eclipse does find a kill onto Zoro. It is traded out though, as Zoro finds a kill onto him. It's kind of a Mexican standoff where both people kill each other in the end, and it looks like VanirQuick have found a foothold once again on this map.
Yeah, Elias is back on the Tracer, going on the tried and tested. The kind of Bastion antics weren't working in their favor, so let's let our Tracer player do Tracer things. I think they've gone for that approach, and that's normally highly effective, so we'll see how that goes.
The stick was Suzu'd. It was close, but it didn't end up mattering. Eclipse finds a kill on Atomics while he was casting the Kitsune Rush. It does fall. It does get thrown out, but it is wasted as Last Word have found themselves a fight win once again.
Yeah, that was kind of a Hail Mary on that Kiriko. Oh, I'm not sure what Tomix was looking for there. He was very dead. Apan was slightly less dead, but would soon be dead. It was kind of a close your eyes and pray, and that's never going to win a point when you're in Face It Master.
Yeah, the Bastion doesn't find anything, but Popo Plays is stuck in the Gravitic Flux. Does end up being saved, but Kale is able to find a pick onto Eclipse. And the rest of the squad of Last Word is just falling once again down the side of the map. And yeah, the VanirQuick once again have found themselves in one fight territory of securing the map defense. Will they be able to get that over the line this time?
Yeah, this is going to be a particularly hard fight. Neither teams have anything to really use at their disposal except, well, I was about to say the Symbol, but Sim dead first, Juno dead not long after.
Yeah.
You don't mind this as Last Word, you know, the fight's over quick, you've definitely got time for another one. But all this means is VanirQuick, they've got that overclock now, they're close to that pulse bomb. In a long fight, they'll have that gravitic flux. Things are looking in VanirQuick's favor.
Oh, what a pick by Eclipse! Finds 2! The Wuyang is low as well, finds a third one, and that is gonna be a fight win for Last Word. It was a great play by Eclipse, who finds so many opportunities here. There is gonna be a touch, I think, by VanirQuick, who are just rushing forward to try to get this through, but Elias finds the pick onto Miraculous. Eclipse falls as well. No DPS available for Last Word, and no supports either. The last one standing falls, and this is gonna be a last point hold for VanirQuick. But they would, I don't know, are they happy about this? They were about to hold it in the first before the first checkpoint, but now
Last Word thought they had the last word. So cringe from me, but yeah, they did so much. There was that TP that looked like they were going to once again take this high ground with a lot of aggression, and everyone was preparing for that, and then they just walked straight through main. It's put so much pressure on the supports and on the Sigma. It's caught them completely off guard, but what's more important is it's meant Eclipse can take that TP just that few seconds later by himself, and it's completely opened up the point because he's gone on that high ground. He's alone, no one's looking his way, and a Bastion with the grenade perk just shooting at you from a high ground, even if you've popped overclock, you're not going to be able to do much about that. And it's meant he's completely cracked open that attack, and it's just very unfortunate that, you know, VanirQuick are able to get that touch and you've almost won the fight too quickly because they've got no ult. They've got all their ults and they didn't use any and just lose them. They've actually just held on to them, and they've got this really strong recontest just before you cap.
Oh, we're getting...
Blink perk better. You heard it here
Ooh.
first.
Really? Okay. I wouldn't say so, as it kind of messes with your like...
I think that's not that's a very hot take we're hearing.
I guess. Either
it must
way,
be working going into this attack phase.
Either way, Last Word decided to ditch the cat. They have just a normal Kiriko Bap here as their backline, but the Bastion is still gonna remain. VanirQuick do elect to go for a Zoro switch over to the Freya, who is gonna be able to chunk down that Bastion with the explosives as quickly as possible. And yeah, so far a lot of trading in terms of HP, but not a lot of kills happening, as both teams trying to find something to get them the edge. Bastion form does expire from Eclipse there, and that buys a lot of potential here for VanirQuick to push ahead and force the issue, which they're trying to do. They've bought a lot of space, but the Bastion form comes back again. Will they be able to disengage that? And looks like they might just do. Oh, but Gala finds a kill onto Zoro, who in turn finds the kill onto Gala. The Kitsune Rush is traded out, both teams using that ultimate. But Central Fan, going way too far forward is gonna be the thing that cost them the fight. As it was, I feel like it was possible for VanirQuick to win that one, but that was just a little bit of a mistake that was too big.
Yeah, it's just so much poke from both sides. The Freya falling first is really sad to see. Of course, she's traded with that Baptiste. That's a lot of healing gone. But the window is still up. It just means that the entire team is able to, like crazy poke characters are able to poke to the wall. We're already seeing a lot of ults being thrown out before the fight properly started.
Is used by Coral Plays, but doesn't really find anything, as the Suzu is able to keep alive the other tank. Central Fan is still alive and setting, but the rest of the team is not. Gala and Zero find both picks on the other backliners, and yeah, that secures them the fight. VanirQuick, their time is running out.
Really aggressive here from Last Word. Really oppressive. That aggressive swing looked to be working well. Can't say that has stayed the case after what did you call it? A barrage from over the top. Kind of dismantled in that whole approach. VanirQuick just had an extra ult or two in the bank, ready to crack open that really aggressive, almost spawn hold we just saw. Now, Last Word should be able to get a touch. They've got a Baptiste window on the way, so we'll see which direction this goes.
Yeah, Portal Place finds the last second touch here, 3 meters remaining for VanirQuick to push, but they still have to take out the rest of the squad of Last Word. And Eclipse has something to say about it, as Elias falls first. The Tracer player who won them the last map is down first in this final fight, and this is gonna be a bit of an issue, as they only have 20 seconds in the round to push this one in.
One last fight, lots of ults, rush on both sides. You kind of want your Tracer to hit something big with the Mizuki. Well, not
yeah,
Mizuki,
the K-Rush comes out, but on the other side is the Flux, and the Flux is better. Elias does find a kill to Miraculous, and Central Fan goes down though, as the rest of the team of VanirQuick fall down and nobody is able to touch. Last Word wins the second map to tie it up 1-1, and I mean, we have a series on our hands. The 12th place team is fighting back against VanirQuick.
Yeah, it's looking a lot closer than that first map may have suggested. I think what we're really noticing here is that Ramatra ban kind of offered you nothing. It was a bit pointless. It feels like it almost forced Last Word onto what did look like a more comfortable composition. They played that Sigma really well, and their level of poke was just higher. Somehow in a poke comp, when you're playing the same characters, you've managed to get more poke. And it just meant, especially on the defense, those fights were consistently going in the favor of Last Word. We're now going to see map pick and first ban to VanirQuick. So it's kind of in their hands now to kind of outthink their opposition and choose something that will kind of lean in their favor and what they want to play.
Numbani, yeah.
That with Numbani, which, is indicating we want to see some sort of dive.
Yeah.
I don't know what VanirQuick will want to run from this. I'm assuming a Diva, maybe a Hazard, but
I'm expecting a Mizuki ban here as
Mizuki or Bastion. My other thought is a Bastion.
Maybe
Cat's
Bastion,
already been
yeah.
banned, so we might see a Bastion. But is that?
I feel like it's not going to be a Bastion. I think they've been all right against the Cat Bastion of Last Word. Yes, it caught them off guard 1 or 2 times, but overall, that was not what won Last Word that map. I think VanirQuick are probably gonna double down on this map. They're gonna want to win it outright.
Oh, I'm right. Come on, let's go.
Never mind.
That's the most important thing, predicting the bans right. But yeah, the cat being open, cat already banned. This is another point where, the high ground is kind of cracked apart by a flying cat bastion. And if you aren't comfortable on that cat bastion comp, it's kind of foolish of you not to ban it away, because it just puts you at an inherent disadvantage despite all the nerfs it's received over the past few months. It is still just as strong as ever, still very oppressive, and still just as scary. I'm not sure what we will see in return as a ban from Last Word. I'm not sure what they think would be as effective as, say, a Bastion ban.
They might ban a Diva here. It is a very oppressive hero on this map. A lot of high grounds, a lot of I mean, in general, Diva is very oppressive throughout, the last few months. She has been very good. You just see Hazard, who, I mean, technically is just as oppressive as Diva. He's just as strong, I would say, at the moment. But I would have expected them to ban a Diva, because VanirQuick, I feel like they're better known for their Diva than their Hazard, and I mean, you still allow them to play the Diva, which, fair enough. The Hazard is also good, but I didn't expect this.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen the Diva today. They played it on Ilios, and they played it very well. But we haven't seen even a glimpse of a Hazard, or what you might run with a Hazard. So I think it's very interesting to see Last Word kind of direct their bans that way. I don't know if maybe it's a case of them not being comfortable on
maybe
Hazard,
they want to mirror the Diva,
and maybe they want that Diva mirror. They Last Word did once again. They walked out on that Diva on that first map of Ilios before they changed it up to the Ramatra. So maybe they want this Diva mirror and think Hazard would actually really hurt that. So, they could be thinking a variety of things. Maybe they do think VanirQuick have this really strong Hazard comp that you need to be terrified of, but I don't think we will know kind of the planning around that until we load it to the map, which should
maybe the teams have done more homework than us. Crazy thought. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, but we're just waiting on some players to load in.
Yeah.
Into the lobby, it seems, and yeah. What I would say is this is very different to the last 2 maps we've seen. Of course, Ilios is known as a divey map. It's where you see Korea go all the time because they love a bit of dive. But we didn't really see dive being ran consistently. We were seeing a Hazard, we were seeing a Sigma still, and then we've been to Circuit, which is long-range snipers who can do the most poke, who can get their ults first kind of map. Whereas Numbani is very dive. It's very there's a lot of gaps you need to close. It's not like a Paraseo, but you've still got a lot of distance to cover. So I wonder which kind of direction they want to lean their tanks into and the kind of comps, and who we might see that's different to what we've already been seeing. I wonder if we're going to see a Symmetra, something like that, being brought in to kind of take that high ground, like a Malga Symmetra kind of brawly comp, or if you're going to see kind of a Diva with a Tracer and a Shion kind of take things apart.
Well, I do want to zoom out for a sec. I want to talk about what the teams are playing for. There's 3 matches remaining in this season of Faceit League before the playoffs start, and you need to be in 8th position or higher to qualify for those playoffs. And currently, your very own VanirQuick, they're sitting comfortably in number 3 spot, and they're pretty much as good as qualified. They're just vying for the seeding. And on the other hand, Last Word, they're in number 11. They still need to go up the rankings a little bit to make it to the playoffs. And I mean, they're within reach. But I feel like they need to win basically every single game from now on. And I mean, getting that first point or first map win in the series is really gonna set them off on a good course. I mean, if they want to make that happen.
Yeah, I'm having a bit of a deeper look here, and this is really important. This is make or break, because what we are seeing is that they have still got to play Peps and Good Guys, Last Word. Which are our 2 highest seeded teams. So you've got Peps, of course, partnered on a WCS team, Soro's former team, and then we've got Good Guys as well. Both very strong rosters and effectively undefeated. Good Guys have lost twice.
You know, I spoke too soon. They're probably not qualified. I'm joking, of course. Anything can happen, but it is looking like a rough road ahead for these guys. But we do have a match to play out first, and Central Pan starts off with a massive rock onto Gara. And I mean, the rest of the team just fall down miraculous. Let's find a kill onto Zoro here. But VanirQuick are going to be able to put bodies on the point to try to take this one home. Oh, and it's a bit of a stagger here as well.
Yeah, that's a bit of an evil stagger. That's a huge stagger. It's really effective. It's at least brought you round that first corner, which maybe not in these kind of games, but definitely in ranked games is a real difficult choke point to kind of get around on that recontest.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are seeing the kind of the same comps being run with Symmetra to navigate this high ground rather than a focus on dive characters, which is a very interesting approach.
I mean, I feel like VanirQuick are not that susceptible to a sim composition. They have the May to just wall off the teleporter. Speaking of wall, it comes out and it gets a kill onto Poro plays. The tank is caught out, and the rest of the team just follows suit as Zoro picks off 2 people on the exit. And yeah, I mean, VanirQuick are surging ahead in this map.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting the May ban now, but we are now seeing the Malga, so I wasn't completely wrong. We'll see if the Malga can kind of hold his own against this Malga Reaper.
Yeah.
Compared to what the Sigma was doing.
But the Malga does go low, and there is a Kitsune Rush on the other side. Kale finds Miraculous, and that is as good as over for Last Word. Last Word's defense on point 2, and there's going to be a little bit of staggers here happening, as well as VanirQuick again surging up ahead.
Yeah, and those swaps have just put Last Word even further behind in that ult race. We are seeing 4 ults on the side of VanirQuick with an overclock and a rush kind of answer. But are they really going to be able to answer a Blizzard and a Beat and a Gravitic Flux?
Well, that's what we're about to see as the Gravitic Flux and the Kitsune Rush is used first. It doesn't get a kill onto anyone, but Kale finds a kill onto Miraculous with that damage buff of Lucio, which we saw in the mid-season match. Okay, Kale finds another pick. The Lucio is going crazy. Is this Frogger over here? I'm not sure, but Zoro finds a kill onto Zero, and I mean, the rest of the squad is forced to go back to spawn here.
I mean, last word only used one though. You've oh, that's terrible. We still got the beat though. Beat and overclock still to be used.
Yeah, and I mean, will that be enough? As oh my god, Zoro is so good. Killing Zero. I just had a stroke trying to pronounce that sentence, but don't mind me, as VanirQuick are lightning quick going into last point. Have 4 minutes 42 seconds remaining, more time than they've started with.
Attacker's advantage or something along those lines. I mean,
Sure.
if you are VanirQuick, you're probably giving Zoro a hard time for dying that one time, being the only person to have a death. But if you have just won a map, yeah, if you've just won a map and then you come out and let the other team then cap with more time than they started, you're probably not feeling too great. You probably think something needs to change. But what kind of changes do you make here? How do you open up Numbani going into this kind of comp where the Mei and the Sigma and is shutting everything down up close, and the Freya is kind of keeping everything at bay from afar?
Yeah, it's a tough thing to answer after that absolutely lightning fast round by VanirQuick. I mean, you still have to play out this map, and how do you just get your mental back if your last word? I mean, you knew you were going to be underdogs going into this match, but losing that hard has to sting either way.
Yeah, you're gonna need to put a plaster on that, and more importantly, kind of realize this. It may not feel like it, but this is winnable. I mean, that from Gara does not make this any more winnable than it was.
Okay,
you know you can definitely break this comp apart. You can make through. It's just how you approach this high ground is going to be the question.
Yeah, and Central Pan is going to be stalwart there on that said high ground. But I mean, they're going to try a different approach. They're going to try to go behind, try to force people off the high ground to try to contest the point. I mean, Central Pan does do that, but I mean, the last word, it's not what they wanted, because he does find a kill onto Miraculous. And I mean, last word again, they sent Scattering, trying to pick up the pieces of their composition.
Gara's risked his life there to take that high ground and to knock everyone off of the high ground, but it's almost been too effective. It's hit. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, the DPS of last word finding 2 picks. And I mean, Zoro and Tomix are down. Eclipse does get traded, but Miraculous is there to finish the job, as most of last word is alive, and Elias is the last one standing. He's gonna fall eventually, and this point is gonna start being captured by last word.
Yeah, the last word DPS line have clearly caught VanirQuick off their toes, unprepared. I was just about to talk how Gara had hit that big boop off the high ground, but actually just booped everyone off, and they'd stayed a group, and it meant that they were doing the same thing on the low ground. But it seems that that kind of confusion over the course of a long fight has meant that there's a lot of space for last word DPS line to make a difference.
Yeah, VanirQuick with a lot of ultimates available, but so do last word have those tools available to them. It's gonna be a full-on brawl out, and Kitsune Rush is the first thing to be used by last word. Portal Place has to use the bomb to remake, but Miraculous finds the kill on the Domex out of nowhere, and I mean, does get traded down as well. And it is VanirQuick who are going to be victorious in this race, as they found 3 picks just at the end of the fight.
Yeah, as the fight was ending, that beat just to give that overhealth to walk back in and secure whatever looked kind of shaky was so strong. But now, of course, Gara still with his beat, still able to do the same thing.
Yeah, the gravitic flux comes out, does find a connection with it onto Poroplace, who does eventually fall down to the damage that it was overwhelming the Diva mech. And in the end, I mean, yeah, VanirQuick are still holding on strong.
Yeah, it wasn't just a flux, it was also that blizzard waiting underneath. The slow that comes when you land from the flux, as well as the slow from a blizzard, means it's kind of a death trap even, cooking up. I wonder how this fight will go, considering it's very neutral.
Yeah, Poroplace getting displaced to hell and back as this Diva is trying to engage, not able to, as they fall down so low. Delucio gets rocked, but does manage to stay alive. Everybody on Last Word are so low, and Zoro is there to pick up the pieces. Kale as well, finding a kill onto Poroplace, and does fall to Gara though. The Lucio diff is there for Last Word, and the fight is still happening. Miraculous finds a kill onto Tomix, and there is no support available for VanirQuick, and this is seeming like a victory for Last Word, which they sorely needed. But Elias has something to say about it. Central Pen as well is there to pick up the pieces of the fight that was happening, like for the last 40 seconds or so. Zero is on 1 HP, able to TP away just barely, and somehow Last Word have not managed to push the card at all. And this fight, I mean, it is an eternal one, as you know, it's been going on for almost a minute now, maybe more. Flux comes out from Central Pan, doesn't find any connections. At least the Suzu was used to kind of deny that. Zoro falls to Miraculous, and the trades are even, though still Central Pan gets a kill onto Zero, but Poroplace finds a kill onto the Mei of the opposing side. VanirQuick are looking like the weaker team in this fight, at least after the trades are gone. Eclipse finds a kill onto Tomix, and finally VanirQuick are forced to resign, and yeah, Last Word finally getting.
What did I just watch? Well, that might have been the longest fight this game's ever seen. We've seen the fastest cap and the longest fight. You saw that kind of pair of Gara and Miraculous really tear through that support line and DPS line of VanirQuick, really put a huge chunk in. Yet you look up, and Elias and Apan have kind of done the same thing. They've just walked over everyone, kind of left isolated. So the fight kind of ended up neutral after about 1,000 trades, and then that time Last Word managed to get on top. Miraculous caught alone
gets overwhelmed by the duo of Kale and Zoro. Doesn't live there, had to escape, but wasn't able to. Kale in a little bit of trouble here. Eclipse almost finding a kill with a double shot, but Kale is still alive.
Yeah, we're gonna see a K rush from Last Word here first, but even faster a Blizzard just before the fights even really started, catching Poroplace with his trousers down. A nice and quick fight for VanirQuick, only one ult used. A really good chance at stabilizing this very scrappy and messy game into.
Okay, the gravitic flux in
spawn, changing.
I mean, unorthodox, but it works. Unorthodox, but it works. It almost gets a pick onto Poroplace, but the beat is there to save him. And now it's VanirQuick who are on the back foot in this fight. Central Pan though finds a kill onto Miraculous to save off the bleeding, and yeah, looking like a good fight for VanirQuick as the overclock brought a lot of pressure towards Last Word. Kitsune Rush is used, but it is disengaged, and on the other side, a better Kitsune Rush with the beat available. Poroplace has nothing he can do to save himself, and yeah, VanirQuick with 30 seconds remaining are looking like they are gonna hold this almost certainly.
Yeah, I was just saying how they kind of calmed down what was a very scrappy point, just constant brawling. And then they've thrown 3 ults out in their spawn. And they're staying there. They don't want to go anywhere. They're willing to use even more ults in the enemy spawn. So yeah, Elias in a very dangerous position by himself there.
Yeah, Poro plays had to use the ultimate to survive here as a lot of damage was coming out from VanirQuick, but Poro plays does find a kill on the KO. It is traded by Elias. And actually, the tank of Last Word is finding more and more value as Elias falls. The angle was too wide. The beat is used to secure this one, but was that too much from Last Word? Was that an over?
No, I don't think you
overuse?
need that beat. Oh no, and I think Last Word knows that too, that you would put yourself in a very difficult position. Not only is this map only drawable now, but you are going into this last fight without your beat, without your
and
big
you would have
ult
wanted
fight.
that there as the gravitic flux comes out, and it does find a pick onto Poro plays. 2 people dead already for Last Word, and that's gonna be it as none of the 3 remaining ones are able to touch. And VanirQuick go 2 for 1 and go up again in the series for the second time.
Well, if that wasn't exciting, I don't know what you would say is exciting. That was just felt like one really drawn out fight that just didn't end. The moment the game kind of slowed itself down, took itself to a more manageable pace, they all just kicked off again. They were just getting stuck in, you know, which isn't normally the way you describe an Overwatch game. Of like, get involved, get stuck in, go on then. It sounds like, you know, your dad at the side of like a football game when you were 7. But yeah, it was a really exciting game. Last Word, you know, showed moments of promise, not on their defense, but definitely on their attack. Map and ban in their favor, going to New Junk City. I wonder what bans you go for now. You've seen the Mei ban and you've seen the Freya ban, both which we have learned from that map. Very effective bans. You've got a lot of value out of them. I'm not sure what you ban now that is as disabling as the 2 first bans you've already had as Last Word. I don't know if you want to veer towards the tank or maybe even the support line this time, as I feel like you've had your stab at the DPS, and now Cat Bastion's definitely open, which, you know, New Junk City, not a map known for the Cat Bastion, but there's an indication you might be interested in playing it. So, you know, that's always in the back of your mind. So I wonder what we're gonna
Vendetta? That's sure the throwaway ban. Just like a protect the ban to protect the DPS.
It could be a DPS protect, but what we have seen in OWCS, we have been seeing a lot of Vendetta really strong on these brawly flashpoint maps, just because of her ability to engage and kind of close down that space. Have been really effective even without a Zarya. You know, there was a time where you thought Vendetta couldn't exist in a world where she didn't have a Zarya bubble, but very recently that's been proved otherwise, in the same way that the Reaper's been really effective with these Malgas, Vendetta has. And I think that Sigma ban kind of implies that you might be looking at Malga as well here.
Perhaps. Maybe a Zarya. Still a possibility. Maybe a D.Va. D.Va's still out there. I wouldn't say that Malga is guaranteed. Yeah, I wouldn't say that Malga is guaranteed yet. There's still a lot of possibilities where teams
a
could
lot
take
of choices, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Malga, but I also wouldn't be shocked if we didn't. Especially if we're still running that Freya, if we still like that Mei, it could easily become a Ram mirror, especially with the changes to Ram block, meaning it is just as oppressive as it once was. So yeah, this could kind of go either way. I'm hoping that, you know, Last Word have, as we've said previously, done more research than we have, and that this is highly effective and will push us towards a map 5. However, I know that I've said that a lot, and the times we have gone to a map 5 have been none. No, I'm a huge culprit of the caster curse. So we'll see which way this goes.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were loading in. No, we've got tiny bit of time before we load in.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, the the next matches that are going to be played by Last Word.
Yeah.
I am just starting to wonder how secure are they in not getting relegated, as I'm still looking this up as how high do you need to be to not get relegated actually?
You need to be top 8. Top 8 right now is 6 wins. And Last Word are sitting on 5. So they're not that far behind, but of course they are playing what currently the 3rd best team. And they're still yet to play the 1st and 2nd best team. They have played the 4th best team and lost 4-0. They're already doing better than they did against Wasp Esport. They've beaten quite a few notable teams. They 3-0'd SrPeakCheck. Of course, a team lots of people know about. They 3-0'd Redline, or 3-1 Redline, is that? That's a 3-1. They won a forfeit game. Wow. So, but I think everyone has won that, unsurprisingly. But yeah, we are loading in. Slightly unusual to see New Junk City over Suravasa. I don't know if we mentioned that. Of course, people tend to veer towards Suravasa. I know they do in ranked. However, you do see New Junk City in a bit more organised professional Overwatch. But yeah, we are seeing a mix of both worlds. We are seeing a Malga and we are seeing a Ramattra. I wonder which composition will do better, because I think this does favour the Malga in this exchange.
I mean, it could, but yeah, I feel like Last Word can have a lot of speed with both Gala and Zero on the speedy characters, the Juno and the Lucio, to speed away maybe.
Oh no, that was just speed ring.
Oh yeah, it was just a speed ring. Okay, never mind. Because I was gonna say that if you have that much speed, you can just absolutely disengage this Malga and leave him to just get stranded. But here, speaking of the engagement, here it comes. It does force a May block. That ability is not available for Miraculous anymore, as Suzu is also used. And I mean, a lot of abilities already bled from the side of Last Word plays. They'll find the kill onto Zoro, and Central Pan is very low. They have to give up the point here, as Last Word found a foothold first in this round.
Yeah, VQ just got completely out-rotated there. Left Zoro high and dry all by himself. I think the effectiveness of both these comps is that those tanks can just exist in their own world where they just don't die. It's just whichever will be more effective at that in this case. Especially when one team is running May and one is running Tracer.
Yeah, a little bit of an attempt at a backup here by Elias. Does pull back a lot of attention from Last Word. The Lucio had to pull back quite far, and oh, what a wall. Okay, Central Pen does stay alive here, but that does buy a lot of time here for Last Word. And yeah, the Kitsune Rush is invested. Portal Place falls to the overwhelming pressure, but Gara has the beat here available. Is that gonna be enough? No, it isn't. The beat nerfs. The beat nerf is kind of costly here for Last Word, as Zoro finds another pick, and Elias is gonna finish the job on this point.
Yeah, some people might think that beat was kind of a throw. I think it was just wishful thinking. If you saw those health bars on VanirQuick, I might have accidentally said it when I shouldn't have, but those health bars were low. Zoro was one, Tomix was one, Elias low without recall. Just a tiny bit more aggro from Last Word. If they weren't being hounded by that Malga, they easily could have won that.
Okay, Kyle and Tomix fall first immediately as the fight starts. Zoro finds a pick into Gala. Zoro is actually the only one who's really trying to stay alive here. He's the last one standing. As yeah, they're just gonna try to disengage this, and the first point goes to Last Word.
And quite convincingly so. That this Ramattra comp, that holding block and praying, and that May kind of shutting down all the angles of VanirQuick just seem to be far more effective than the Shion Tracer dive, which, you know, just doesn't seem to be on the same wavelength right now.
Okay, Elias setting up for something sneaky here, as I mean, Zoro finds a kill onto Zero to start us off, and a second one as well. It is traded out by PoroPlays on the other side with the Annihilation. Does go low, but not low enough, as Miraculous helps with the killing of Central Pen as well. And the second point as well is started off by Last Word. They're looking really good so far in this map.
Yeah, PoroPlays is looking really comfortable on this Ramattra. He's just caught both supports there before the fight's even started. It just means when the trades are coming out and it's a 3v3, one team has a Lucio to keep them all alive, and one team a half with no supports.
Yeah, here comes the engagement from Central Pen. He has the beat to help him stay alive. Zoro finds a kill, and Elias finds another. It is a tail as all that time, as Zoro finds a third one as well. It's gonna be a point recaptured by VanirQuick, who have finally get himself in a little bit of control on this map, as this is gonna be a stagger as well onto Miraculous.
Yeah, really nasty stagger that. You know, we haven't really seen Last Word put themselves in a position to be able to take these big staggers, to be able to buy themselves that extra 10-15% on objectives. I wonder if it's kind of these kind of moments that will make the difference in this series. They kind of put VanirQuick ahead, or if Last Word, you know, are kind of winning in their own way.
Yeah, PoroPlays is gonna try to just send his team to point. They're gonna just try to fight it out on the slow ground. The Kitsune Rush comes out from Domix, but is that gonna be enough pressure? As nobody is caught in that Kitsune Rush. Elias finds a kill on Tangara, and Central Pan does find a kill onto Eclipse as well. Two people down for Last Word. Can they save this fight? As this is gonna be the last one on this point. PoroPlays finds two, but that's not gonna be enough, as they were already down so much. And VanirQuick find an equalizer.
Yeah, it's another fight where PoroPlays has managed to find at least one, kind of in those trades to kind of swing things in Last Word's favors. But I think that Annihilation investment is just a bit too hopeful. Things are just not going quite right enough to be worthwhile, and of course he's died for it. And going into this fight, Last Word are really at that ultimate disadvantage in this first cap.
Yeah, VanirQuick have a lot of ultimates to start this fight off, but they're choosing to let the fight come to them. Last Word, they're rotating around from this left side, and it's gonna be a cage onto PoroPlays. He has no way of living in that. The block is not gonna save you, and the rest of the team are gonna follow. It's gonna be a little bit of stagger onto Miraculous, and the cap goes to VanirQuick.
Yeah, just all that for just the cage. That's really strong from VanirQuick, and you'll be very happy with that, because now you've got that beat, you've got that bomb, you've got the I forget the name of it, Shion's ult, that one, the rush, whatever kind of funky name it's got, and then you're very close to K-Rush. So this is going to be very hard again for Last Word to crack.
Eclipse popping the overclock, but dying immediately to Zoro's ult. The one that I cannot remember either, but either way, it doesn't matter what it's called. Zoro finds a kill and finds more kills and finds even more kills, and it keeps going. VanirQuick are probably gonna get this point.
It's three. I knew that. So it was never close, but yeah, it's really effective, especially walking into that front kind of choke. Here that you see Malga standing by, it's just free shooting for the Shion to kind of tear everyone apart.
The touch is there for Last Word, but I mean, the rest of the team are kind of stuck, staggering behind the first toucher. There's only one tank and two supports remaining for last work. No DPS whatsoever. And I mean, give it a few seconds and the rest are gonna follow. VanirQuick have a match point, map and match point here on Bomb Flats. I had to listen to that. I do not know their names off of the top of
Yeah,
my head.
that's quite interesting. They've caught the Mei alone, which is that big ult. It's a really good like identification of the win condition there for last word. But there was 3 chasing him, and then you've just got the Malga and the Kiriko alone. So I'm surprised, you know, last word didn't find anything kind of match that.
SrPeakCheck finding a kill onto 2 people, but does get frozen with a blizzard. But has he done enough damage here? As VanirQuick have the control of the point so far, but the blizzard, the Kitsune Rush is gonna stop them. Zoro finding a kill into Zero and a Miraculous, and I mean, great plays here from everybody on VanirQuick's side.
Yeah, they've paced that really well. Apan has opened everything up. He's found 2. That's put the even though he's died and given his life for it, that finding 2 means his team can kind of take their time. They can slowly cap point, and then that K rush comes in later, and it means it's effectively uncontested.
Cage coming out early. Atomics and Zoro are there to capitalize on it, and it's gonna be a very quick fight win for VanirQuick. They're gonna stagger the Mei as well. Book of the day. And yeah, VanirQuick in a very good spot here.
Yeah,
complete the 3-1.
As long as VanirQuick keep, you know, being this proactive, taking the fights on their terms, being aggressive, they will keep winning these fights. We're seeing an annihilation and a beat to mirror a beat. This fight is in last word's favors. It's up to them to kind of crack open this point and use these ults as effectively as they can.
Elias misses the pulse bomb here. That was one of the win conditions for VanirQuick to win this fight. The beat is better for last word as well. Elias, that's when a kill onto Eclipse. It's a 4v5 for last word. Their last stand on this point. And I mean, it is gonna be a kill actually from Miraculous onto Zoro, but Elias is doing far too much in the backline. SrPeakCheck finding a kill onto Gara, and Boro plays the last bastion of hope for last word to win this map, and this match falls, and so do the hopes and dreams of last word. VanirQuick had a little bit of hiccup on Circuit Royale, but they do take the series to a close here on New Junk City, and Zoro probably one of the heroes of this story with a play of the game.
Yeah, the Shion worked really well, you know. At the very start of that first point, you saw it get picked first, and you've kind of lost the first point. All of the momentum that you've lost from Zoro dying early on Shion, and you're thinking, ooh, this is a bit hopeful. This is a bit of a brave pick compared to, you know, you've played the Freya, played the Sojourn, and they've both worked really well. But then you've come into these latter points, and especially with the kind of close proximity they're being held in, and the Malga cage, you're forcing your team to take these fights in. The spree has been so effective. I never thought I'd say in Overwatch that driving into someone with a motorbike is the best way to win a fight, but the kind of burst damage and the splash damage you get from that Shion motorcycle is a lot more than people realize. You kind of disregard it because it feels almost silly. The kind of comical nature of you're driving over someone with a motorcycle, you kind of forget that actually it's really effective and it does a ton of damage, and it means that you can be so much more lenient with that execution. And this is kind of, I think, was a major part why that map worked, because Zoro's Shion was just so effective.
Yeah, and as the match goes to a close, I think it's gonna be a close for us as well. We're gonna roll the credits. We're gonna see who helped us on this broadcast. The producer was Lau. The casters were me, Zima, and Rugby Crab with me today. Observers Friday, and special thanks to Respawn.io for providing all of the resources that you saw today on stream. And do you have any final closing words? If not, we're gonna just roll ahead.
Well, last word, their record kind of implied, this might be tricky for them, and they have shown to be a lot better side than results may imply. Of course, VanirQuick are that seed 3 right now and a World Cup squad. And it's not a stretch to say this is a big part of Sweden's Overwatch World Cup core. So this is a strong team. They've made it far, and to be able to take a map and have a second kind of closer map in Numbani, if you ignore the attack, their defense, that attack was very competitive, and so was Junkertown or New Junk City. They're all the same, really. But yeah, I wouldn't be disheartened by this result. They've shown a stronger side than I think most people anticipated, or the results they've had so far imply. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't see a 3-0 wash today, which seems to be the standard whenever I cast an Overwatch game. But yeah, it's been lovely casting today.
Yeah, it has been. And thank you guys for watching on the Twitch. And see you guys maybe soon. Bye.